Hello everyone, I'm Sophie and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And today I will continue reading from the Prologue, which is about the 24 lives of His Eminence, the 25th Sam Tuku Rinpoche. And it's from The Promise, which is his biography. And we will start on page 13. Tommy Sambota, CE 619 to unknown. Sam Rinpoche's third recognized incarnation is the legendary Tommy Sambota, an exceptionally intelligent Tibetan scholar who is credited with the invention of the Tibetan scripts. During the reign of Emperor Songtsen Gampo, Tommy Sambota, along with 7 other scholars, was chosen to travel to India to study the English language, grammar, lexicography, poetry, literature, and philosophy, with the ultimate goal of creating a script for the Tibetan language. As the sole survivor of the expedition, Tommy Sambota returned with various texts and written materials, which were some of the very first Buddhist scriptures to enter Tibet from India. Upon his return to Tibet, Tommy Sambota commenced the monumental project of developing the Tibetan script based on the Devanagari and Kashmiri scripts. He also composed 6 treatises on Tibetan grammar, 2 of which are still in use today. These works not only form the foundation for the country's written language, but enable many precious texts to be translated from Sanskrit to Tibetan, including the 21 tantric texts on Avalokiteshvara, as well as the composition of the Mani Kambum collection of teachings on Avalokiteshvara. Hence, Tommy Sambota's legacy encompasses the establishment of Tibetan literacy and literary culture, as well as the preservation of Buddhist scriptures through the Kangyo, which is the spoken teachings of Lord Buddha, and Tangyo, commentaries written by Buddha's spiritual heirs. Which are some of the most complete and in-text texts available today. Caption of the picture: renowned translator and father of the Tibetan script, Tommy Sambota established literacy and literary culture in Tibet through his efforts to spread the Dharma. Page 14. King Trisong Detsen, c. 472 to 800 CE. Tirelessly returning to spread the Dharma, another of Sam Rinpoche's previous incarnations is King Trisong Detsen, the second of the 3 great Dharma kings of Tibet, whose work provided a strong foundation for Buddhism to flourish in the land of snows. King Trisong Detsen successfully defended Tibet against military invasion and expanded Tibet's territory, restoring the country to its former glory under the reign of King Songtsen Gampo. He is best remembered for his patronage of Buddhism, which led to the first dissemination of Buddhist teachings in Tibet by great masters such as Shantara-Sikta, Padmasambhava, and Kamala-Shila. King Trisong Detsen collaborated with Shantara-Sikta to build Samye Monastery, the first Buddhist monastery in Tibet, which later became a center for Dharma activities. Samye Monastery also bore witness to the ordination of the first members of the Tibetan monastic community. However, the construction of this holy site was plagued by various obstacles which hindered its completion, caused by the rituals of jealous pre-Buddhist born shamans who worshipped a powerful divinity called Peha. The Indian master Padman Sambhawa was invited to subdue Peha, which he did successfully. Subsequently, Peha became known as Nechong, a Dharma protector sworn to protect Dharma practitioners from outer, inner, and secret obstacles. King Trison Datsun was also famous for hosting a 2-year debate between Huangshan Mohoyan, the Chinese Chan meditation master, and the Indian scholar Kamala Sila, as he believed that the Chan master was spreading misinterpreted teachings. Kamala Sila's victory refocused Tibet's attention on India as the source of pure Dharma teachings. The caption of the picture: King Trison Datsun, second of the 3 great Dharma kings, established the first Buddhist monastery in Tibet. Page 15. Mahasiddha Naropa, 1016 to 1100. Sam Rinpoche's exemplary guru devotion is not surprising given that his 5th incarnation was none other than the great Mahasiddha Naropa, who was revered for his renunciation, his perfect practice of guru devotion, and his faultless teachings that continue to lead practitioners on the swift path towards enlightenment. Born into a noble family of Pulahari, Naropa abandoned a life of luxury to pursue the path of liberation in Nalanda Monastery, where he received full ordination vows and a rigorous education for 10 years. Despite rising in the rank of Mahapandita, one of the 4 highest ranking professors at Nalanda, Naropa still left the monastery in search of his guru Tilopa. This happened after a conversation with a Dakini in the form of an elderly woman made him realize that his highly accomplished intellectual understanding of the Dharma did not equate to the attainments of enlightenment. Naropa traveled all over India in search of the Mahasiddha Tilopa, only to be rejected, beaten, and chastised for many years once he had found him. Only after enduring the 12 major and 12 lesser trials, which served to break through Naropa's pride, did Tilopa begin to impart instructions that led to Naropa's full realization of Mahamudra in just 12 years. Considered one of the 84 great Mahasiddhas of ancient India, Naropa was the teacher of the Tibetan mystic Marpa Lotsatwa, who went on to institute the Kagyu school of Tibetan Buddhism. Kagyu school of Tibetan Buddhism. Naropa also transmitted the teachings to his sister, who eventually became known as the great yogini, Niguma. Naropa is also the father of the Vrajayogini Tantras. He gained a vision of Vrajavarahi in the form of Vrajayogini, who then initiated him into a new practice based on the Chakrasamvara cycle of teachings. Hence, this powerful female Buddha is also known as Naropa's Dakini or Narokacho. Naropa's legacy to us is the 6 yogas of Naropa and the powerful Vrajayogini Tantras, one of the most efficacious practices for practitioners of our time. The affinity between Vrajayogini and Sam Rinpoche's line of incarnations is further reflected in the founding of the Kachara organization, which is named after Vrajayogini's paradise. Caption of the picture: the father of 6 yogas of Naropa and Vrajayogini Tantras. Naropa is known for his strong guru devotion and faultless teachings. Page 17. Lotsawa Loden Sherab, 1059 to 1109. In the era when Buddhism was being transmitted to Tibet, a former incarnation of Sam Rinpoche took rebirth in Loka within the illustrious Ngok family. The young boy was educated by his uncle, the famous Ngok Lotsawa Lekpe Sherab, who was one of Atisha's main disciples. In 1076, the young boy was ordained in Sangpu Newtong Monastery, which was founded by Lekpe Sherab in 1073, and was given the name Loden Sherab. That same year, Loden Sherab attended the very important Fire Dragon Religious Conference, which was attended by many of the most important Buddhist minds of that era, patronized by King Sede of the old Yugé Kingdom. The conference aimed to facilitate better translations, and the young Loden Sherab was selected to travel to India to study Sanskrit. One of his 5 travel companions was the famous translator Ra Lotsarwa Dorje Drak. Loden Sherab returned to Tibet in 1092, bringing with him many treatises including the practice and lineage of the Dharma protector Satrap. He remained in Sangpu Monastery for the rest of his life, single-handedly translating over 135,000 verses from Sanskrit to Tibetan, and teaching up to 20,000 students at a time. He was the second abbot of Sangpu Monastery. And upon his passing, auspicious signs such as rainbows, lights, and musical sounds were witnessed. His foremost disciples were Sang Sepongwa Choki Lama and Dro Lungpa Jungne. Caption of the picture: Lord Sarwa Loden Sherab was a great translator, abbot, and teacher. He also brought the lineage and practice of the Dharma protector Satrap from India to Tibet. Page 18. Ra Lotsatwa Dorje Drak, 1016 to 1128. Within the same era as Loden Sherab, another former incarnation of Sam Rinpoche took rebirth amidst auspicious signs as the great translator Ra Lotsarwa Dorje Drak, who was most famous for proliferating the Yamantaka Tantras in Tibet. Highly regarded as an emanation of Manjushri, Ra Lotsarwa was a brilliant young man and was selected during the Fire Dragon Religious Conference to be sent to India along with Lotsarwa Loden Sherab and other companions to study Sanskrit. While he was studying in Kashmir, he received the Kalachakra initiations and practice from Samatashri. He subsequently came under the tutelage of the great Nepalese Vrajacharya Baro Chakdum, from whom he received the Yamantaka and Vrajavarahi lineages. He also studied under Mahakaruna, a disciple of Naropa's lineage, and received the Chakrasamvara initiations and practice. Upon his return to Tibet, he began proliferating these tantras. Of all the tantras that Ra Lotsarwa brought to Tibet, it was the proliferation of Yamantaka tantras that was met with the greatest opposition. Many could not believe that Yamantaka, bearing the main face of a buffalo, was a Buddhist practice, and he received tremendous criticism. The opposition was so fierce that he eventually had no choice but to slay 13 lamas that challenged his lineage in magical combat. He did this using a special rite of the Yamantaka Tantras, and thus the Yamantaka Tantras eventually became established as one of the most widely proliferated tantric systems in Tibet. His illustrious career was as a translator and a sponsor of Buddhist scriptures was one of the most impactful amongst countless other translators of that time. Ra Lotsarwa's greatest deeds included renovating Samye Monastery and many other temples in southern Sang and Lato on which he spent most of his wealth. His heart son was Ra-chorab. Caption of the picture: Ra Lotsatwa Doje Drak, who proliferated the Yamantaka Tantras in Tibet, was a scholar and translator and regarded to be an emanation of Manjushri, the Buddha of wisdom. Page 20. Shakya Sri Bhadra, 1127 to 1225. Sam Rinpoche's line of incarnations once again occupied the position of Mahapandita of Nalanda Monastery in the form of Shakya Sri Bhadra, who was later appointed the abbot of both Nalanda and Vikramasila monasteries. Shakya Sri Bhadra's fame grew far and wide, and he was a highly sought-after teacher who turned the wheel of Sutrayana and Tantrayana in Tibet through the efforts of Trokpo Lotsawa Rinchen Sengye, an outstanding translator and debater. Together with his entourage, Shakya Sri Bhadra traveled to many monastic seats in the land of snows, giving extensive teachings covering a range of topics including the 5 main texts of Buddhist philosophy. His contribution to the other schools of Buddhism is also mentioned in the lineage of the Vrajakilaya practice and the Drigo Kagyu school. Throughout his travels, Shakya Sri Bhadra ordained innumerable monks into the Kashmiri Vijnana system that eventually became the guiding principles of the monastic rules of the Shakya, Kagyu, and later the Galut tradition. Caption of the picture: Shakya Sri Bhadra was the abbot of 2 of India's most prestigious learning institutions, Nalanda and Vikramasila. Traveling to Tibet, he gave many philosophical teachings and spread the monastic system that became key in 3 different traditions. Page 21. Shakya Pandita, year 1182 to 1251. The mind stream of Sam Rinpoche also arose in the 12th century as the unparalleled logician and debater Shakya Pandita Kunga Gyaltsen. He was the grandson of the first Shakya throne holder, Sachen Kunga Ningpo, and would himself be enthroned as the 4th Shakya throne holder. Born in Western Tibet, the young boy exhibited the auspicious signs of an extraordinary being, spontaneously speaking Sanskrit without being taught, and memorizing holy scriptures in his dreams. He was the principal disciple of the great Shakya master, Jetsun Drakpa Gyaltsen, and also a close disciple of Shakya Sri Bhadra, who himself was a previous incarnation of Sam Rinpoche. Shakya Pandita was a formidable master and debater of the Buddhist philosophical treatises and successfully silenced many Thereticas, logicians, and scholars in public debates, including the famous Harinanda. He was a prolific author and translator, composing over 100 highly influential Buddhist texts, including Treasury of Valid Reasonings, Treasury of Good Advice, and a clear differentiation of the 3 codes. Shakya Pandita also created the Mongolian alphabets, which was later revised by scholars. Shakya Pandita's fame was such that it spread all over Tibet and into China. He was the first Tibetan to spread the teachings of Tibetan Buddhism outside Tibet, receiving an invitation to visit China from Godang Khan, the Mongolian ruler of China. Upon meeting this great Buddhist sage in 1247, the Mongolian prince sought to put Shakya Pandita to the test. He secretly requested court magicians to conjure a vision of a temple and asked Shakya Pandita to consecrate it. Not knowing the plot, Shakya Pandita blessed the illusory temple with a sprinkle of flowers. To the consternation of the prince, the magicians were unable to dissolve the illusion because the temple had become real through Shakya Pandita's ritual and blessings. The prince then knelt, confessed his doubts, and took heartfelt refuge in Shakya Pandita, signifying the beginning of a friendly priest-patron Dharma relationship between the two. When Shakya Pandita eventually passed into clear light, he left behind numerous disciples, including his nephew Chogyal Pakpa, to continue his work in China. Caption of the picture: the fourth Shakya throne holder, Shakya Pandita, was a formidable master and undefeated debater known for his magical feats. I don't know if you have noticed, Rinpoche's reincarnation has actually reincarnated into a few masters at the same time, and that is possible of an enlightened being. So with that, I will end my session today, and thank you for sharing your time with me. I will end it with completion dedication in Tibetan. Jangyup Sencho Rinpoche, Make Panam Geyushi, Gepanam Pame Payang, Gonin Gondo Pewashu, Tonito Rinpoche, Make Panam Geyushi, Gepanam Pame Payang, Gonin Gondo Pewashu, Dasojini Sapagewadi, Tantandroa Gunagampat, Jepa Jesu Losan Trapai, Tamping Imporindu Sase, Sho, Gewa Kuntu Yandalamada, Drami Joki Palano Joji, Sadam Nangi Yoterazone, Doji Shangi Pangotus, Gewadi, Yududa, Lamasang Yudrione, Drowachika Malupa, Deis. Lago Pashu, Joki Galpo Sungapa, Josu Nampa Pewala, Geki Samasiwada, Tunki Malu Sangwashu, Dadam Sangi Dosandan, Drewa Songi Latine, Gewa Losan Trapai, Tampa Yureva, Yushi. Ni modeles indele, ni mingunyan dele shi, ni sintato dele pa, kuncho sungi jingilo, kuncho sungi ngotruso, kuncho sungi trasi, sho, jesun lama kusen rapting jing, nam katrini chocho kepad, losam tempe dro mi samsungi, dro e musa tato ni gyushi, gangwe rawe ko e shinkam den, bendan deo malu go in, charan zit one tensi get soi, shapi shi de badu den gyushi. Tompe ngotru malupa, den de dala salduso, kodang den palong chot nam, kepa so shik shuk den sal. You see the book, The Promise, is just behind me. It will be good that if you are able to invite one yourself, that you may be able to read in better details, especially to look at the beautiful pictures that's within. You can order it online from rajasecrets.com, or you can get it from the Kachara outlets. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again tomorrow.